All right, and welcome back, everybody. Just I got a little busy, so I watched the game a little later. Didn't check the score though, which wasn't too bad. I wanted to witness the game, but the New York Liberty getting one over on the Washington Mystics, man, not too bad. Great. Well, we'll get into the game. This is our post-show analysis, folks. Here we are, New York Liberty get a victory over the Washington Mystics. I was about to call them the Wizards too, but I think they're owned by the same organization, the same group. On both of them, tough one, very tough one. I think there was something about like, well, first off, we get an overtime game, so you get free basketball after the fact. The Liberty, tough, tough. Right from the beginning, they were having a scratch and claw and tooth and nail just to kind of get back. And realistically, even with everything that went on, you still had you still had to scratch and claw all the way down to the fourth quarter. There were some glimmers of hope, which we'll talk about, but you you have to give it to them for taking the effort, man, and getting through with it. So the Mystic get into an early lead. They just slap the shit out of the Liberty, going up 13-0. Next thing you see, they're up like 21-3 or something like that. So Liberty were not looking good at all. Even right into the half, going into halftime, it was a little rough. They started to come back in the second quarter. You saw little signs of life, and you saw the Mystic kind of making a little bit of mistakes here and there. The one thing I'm noticing as I'm covering the WNBA is, you know, I don't really see a whole lot of shots where it's like, how do I want to say this? Where you know for a fact that it's gonna, like, oh, that person is just gonna make that from whatever distance or whatever. They kind of tend to miss a bit more than the guys do, but I'm saying I'm giving it a chance. First quarter rough, second quarter starting to come back, starting to scratch, starting to claw, fighting tooth and nail to kind of get back. Mystic would go down. They would that lead would go down by maybe three, but then they would bring themselves back up, and kind of similar in the third quarter, all the way into the fourth quarter, where they start to chip and claw, and some questionable calls, um, uh, some weird calls that kind of went towards the Liberty's favor. Which, hey, listen, you reap the benefits if that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Towards the end, Brianna Stewart, it doesn't really make a good play. It tries to hit a shot, misses, but they get fouls late game, situational play, which I thought was very important. Used up all their timeouts though, and you know the Mystic kind of fumbled the bag a little bit by letting them play. Vandersloot was in, but towards the end of regulation, she was there, but then we wind up going over to OT, and it's kind of back and forth a little bit. Of course, with the Liberty coming through, I know they took out Vandersloot for Johannes, so that was something because I didn't really see her much this game, but I did see her towards the end. So I think for precautionary reasons, they kind of took out Vandersloot, but Anescu hits a clutch three to get them within I think two or something like that. They miss a free throw, make a free throw. The Mystics miss a free throw, make a free throw, and then that kind of gives Vandersloot the opportunity to drive, tie the game, and then we're going overtime. And then in overtime, oh boy, something, something, something. They take the lead with like 30, 40, 50 seconds or something like that. And then it's just about maintaining, and they maintain it really well. They get a turnover, a key turnover, because the Mystic mishandled the ball, and it was off the Mystics New York ball, but they managed to work themselves well, so not too bad. Congratulations to Liberty. Fought really, really well for this game. Now let's look at the stats a little bit. Yeah, 17 points in the first quarter, but then they come back with 22. They do outscore. You know what's funny? They outscore the Mystics in quarters 2, 3, and 4, but it's just, they were trying their best to maintain a lead, but of course it didn't work. And also the problem, Shakira Austin, who she's a what a fox, man. Shakira Austin is a fox. She goes down with a quad injury, I believe. So, kind of is what it is. And plus, Della Don didn't really. I don't want to say that she didn't play too well, but 15.6 rebounds, 3 assists, or whatever. She's kind of their main star. But you had Ariel Atkins and Natasha Cloud kind of making up a double double for Natasha Cloud. And for Liberty, Ionescu coming up, 31 points, not too bad. Brianna Stewart, a little not too quiet. 18.6 rebounds, not too bad. Vandersloot, has kind of on par with what she is. Uh, so kind of is what it is, not too bad. And now I just kind of want to look at the standings right now. So the Liberty are third. Listen, these are the top 4 teams. Unless something else happens, it's Aces, Connecticut, New York, and Washington. So these teams, they're going to be seeing each other more often. These are the teams because 1 through 3 is separated. It isn't separated by a whole lot. Vegas has only lost once, which is not bad, and that was away. So they're perfect at home, and they're perfect in their quote unquote conference. It's going to be a little bit different. And plus, they're destroying every team. Plus 16 differential. 5-game win streak. Whereas New York 3-game win streak. So they've won their last 3. Of course, that's a 3-game win streak. But they're not scoring as much as the Aces, but they're about 87. They're scoring about 87 points. I knew it was a low scoring game because there was 4 minutes left, and I think the Mystics had 69 points. So for me, I'm not used to that. When I watch the NBA, you get to about 67 to 72 towards somewhere in the third quarter, but it's a different. The Liberty were really fighting. The Liberty were fighting to get ahead throughout this whole game, and I think only took the lead once, if not twice. They just tied 2 or 3 times, but they only took the lead in the regular in regulation for like a minute. So they were fighting this game, and they did it. Credit to them. Credit to them for not wavering. Also, the one thing I notice is that especially the women in general, they're huddled together. They always coming together, always talking. So I find that refreshing, and really cool to watch. So there you have it. Pretty simple, pretty quick. Just wanted to cover it, watch the game. So for the Liberty, next up is Tuesday against Connecticut, and then Thursday against the Aces. So those are going to be some tough games. They're really going to have to. They're really going to have to settle in. But they have the Mercury and they have the Storm right after. You know, July 2nd, Seattle. July 5th, Phoenix. July 8th, Seattle. And then July 25th, Seattle. And plus you have, I think, you have Indiana, Dallas. So these are a bit lower teams. So it's going to get a little bit after the 29th, it's going to get a little bit easier up until towards the last week or something like that, the last couple of days in July. So it's really going to get pretty easy for the Liberty. So this might be coming up. These next 2 games are going to be rough, and then it's going to be a little smooth sailing. So we'll see what happens. But your winner, the New York Liberty, not too bad. Congrats, Liberty. Get a nice little break tomorrow, and then right to Tuesday. And the next 2, they're going to count for something. So we'll see what's up. All right, folks. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Peace.